It's going to be important that you award the ribbon that is earned. So we'd like to talk a little bit about the different systems that you might be working within when you judge. First of all, a lot of our 4-H exhibits, especially the static exhibits in our 4-H buildings, are typically awarded on the Danish system. And the Danish system means that all exhibits are going to receive a ribbon. Exhibits are judged in comparison with that ideal standard, not to each other. So the standard that we talked about earlier, that's how we're making a decision in the Danish system as to what the ribbon will be. Exhibits are placed in 4 ribbon groups, and those colors are purple, blue, red, or white. Now, there's also times that you'll see a modified Danish system, and that's often at a livestock show where you will see that. Exhibits are compared to a standard, and they're placed in 4 color ribbon groups, but then they're ranked top to bottom in each ribbon group. So you're going to have a first blue, a second blue, a third blue, a fourth blue, however many blues you have, a first red, a second red, a third red, and so on. So however many there are, they are all ranked. So another system that we see at times is the American system. And that's a lot of times when you're judging in open class. And that is a system where not all exhibits receive a ribbon. Exhibits are ranked 1, 2, 3, etc. Typically 1, 2, 3 is what we see, especially in static exhibits for open class, with a different colored ribbon for each placing. And exhibits are compared to each other. So if you notice in the Danish system, they're compared to the standard. And in the American system, while they're looking at the standard, they're also going to be looking at what is the very best one based on that standard. And it's really important to get these 2 systems in your mind, because there's a number of you that when you judge, you might be asked to judge both open class and 4-H. And so you have to kind of turn that off or turn that on, depending on what it is that you are judging. Now, when we're talking about awarding the right ribbon, most of the ribbons that we see at county fairs are these 4 colors: purple, blue, red, and white. So we're going to start from the top, and then we're going to go back and talk about where to start when you're judging. So when we're talking about a purple ribbon, we mean that exhibit is outstanding on all standards. There's nothing we can say to improve that item. When we're talking about a blue ribbon quality, we know that exhibit exceeds the minimum standard and may have a few minor flaws where improvements could be made, but really it's a very well-made item. A red meets all the minimum standards and may have visible signs of needed improvements. And then a white fails to meet minimum standards. Now, a lot of times when people go to judge, they think, well, we're just always starting and thinking about the purple and working down. But the truth is, we start at the red. Everything that comes before us as a judge, we want to think about that item meeting the minimum standard. And then what's going to happen is we're going to take a deeper look at that item, and we're going to decide, did it meet the minimum standard or did it fail to? And then we'll move down to the white ribbon. Or if it exceeded the minimum standard, then we can move up to the blue or up to the purple. So that's a really important piece to keep in mind as a judge, is that when you're judging, you're always going to start with that red ribbon. Everything comes to you and you're assuming it's a red, and then you're going to move up or move down depending on the quality compared to the standard. Now, there are some classes and some fairs that will have classes that have another ribbon, and that's called a participation ribbon. So that is not one of the blue, red, or white or purple ribbons. Participation ribbons are awarded to those exhibits that do not meet the requirements. Participation ribbons indicate to the 4-H'er that the exhibit was not necessarily poor in quality, only that it did not meet the project requirements as indicated in the fair book. So they get a participation ribbon for taking part, but they really didn't meet what the standards were. There are other classes at county fairs that are just participation classes. So, it's an opportunity for somebody to come and exhibit something, but it's not going to be judged against a standard. And one of the examples would be our Cloverbud projects at our county fairs. Those are participation only classes. One of the things that you will want to really get clear with your superintendents is what kind of champions are going to be awarded at this fair. And if you look here, we've got a list of some of the things that you might be asked to look for. Reserve champion is awarded to the second highest quality exhibit in a single division if there is a worthy exhibit. Champion is awarded to the highest quality exhibit in a single division if there is a worthy exhibit. And then if you move on here, Reserve Grand Champion is awarded to the second highest quality exhibit in one project area if the quality merits the award, and Grand Champion is awarded to the highest quality exhibit in the project area, again, if the quality merits this award. So when we're kind of thinking about what this looks like, maybe we're talking about the foods project overall, that maybe a division is going to be 9 to 11-year-olds or 12 to 14-year-olds. And so maybe they have reserve champions in those divisions, but then it's a grand champion or a reserve grand champion for the overall project that you would select from those.